Hello students, welcome to Spring 2025, weeks 14 and 15, in which we are going to be working on a group research assignment. The research assignment is going to be over U.S. Generally Accepted Accounting Principles versus International Financial Reporting Standards. Yes, you heard it right. This is a group research assignment. So you are going to have to work with your classmates to complete this assignment. Okay, let me go ahead and jump into Blackboard. Okay, regardless of the class that you are taking, whether it be a face-to-face or an online course, you will find the group project information if you scroll down to weeks 14 and 15. Okay, so all of my courses regarding if they're traditional or online are structured exactly the same way, so you will not be lost. So you are just going to scroll down, you're going to locate the weeks, and I've put them together because you are going to be working 2 weeks on this assignment. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to expand the information, and then I'm going to go quickly highlight each of the information that you'll have. Now, one of our course learning objectives is to describe the conceptual differences between International Financial Reporting Standards and U.S. Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. Now, all of the assignments that I give you have a purpose. They are not assignments to keep you busy. No. This is not the exception. This assignment is going to satisfy that specific requirement. Okay, so that is why we are doing it. Sometimes students ask, why are we doing this? Well, we're doing this because we need to learn a little bit about International Financial Reporting Standards and GAAP, identify some of the differences. We have not adopted IFRS in the United States, but that is why we're going to be conducting this research so we can learn a little bit more about it. Now, our textbook gives us very little information about International Financial Reporting Standards. That is why I've developed this assignment so we can get more exposure to this information and be able to do some comparisons between the two. Okay, now in your textbook you do have some sections in the appendix that talk about IFRS and GAAP. I've included the sections from the ebook on this module. Okay, so you see you have 3 links to resources from the ebook that you're going to be using to complete the assignment. Now, you are not limited to these resources. I encourage you and I want you to go out there to the World Wide Web and conduct additional research. Okay, you're going to go out there, you're going to read articles, blogs, you're going to go into the International Financial Reporting Standards website and read there about how they're structured, how they're developed, all of this information. And then you're going to gather all of that information, all of that knowledge, and put it together into a presentation, which you're going to share with us. Okay? Now, the last three items are just resources. You're going to select the link and it's going to take you to the ebook. And then there you just read the information and then you take some notes as you're reading. So that way it becomes, you can start creating your thought process and ideas of what is it that you're going to be presenting or including in your slides. Okay, here I'm just going to show you how the information looks like. It's just a normal reading. You're going to start the assignment. And then you are going to be access the reading material. Okay, so you read, you locate information, make sure that you've utilized information from any of these sources, you cite them accordingly. All information, if you obtain information from any source, whether it be your ebook or an online site, you need to cite your sources. And the sources need to be cited after every sentence, not at the end of the paper. Okay, or at the end of the slide. It needs to be embedded at the point where you obtain that information, and that should be at the end of the sentence. Okay, so here you see it has great information, some comparisons. Use these resources. Okay, this is just for reference. So you've got 3 references that I am providing to you from your ebook. And in addition to these 3 references, you have to go out there and conduct additional research to supplement any areas that are lacking more information. Okay, so I'm not going to go through that. It is your responsibility to go through each of those links and read the information. What I am going to go over is the group research project requirements. Okay, so if you open the group research project, you're going to have 2 items. One of them is the requirements, the other one is the grading rubric. Please print both of them out, okay, and have them handy for when you are working on your assignment. That way you know what you need to complete and how many points they're worth, okay? So let's start off with the actual requirements. Let me download the requirements. Okay, so here we go. Okay, now it's a lot of information. I am not going to go read through all of this line by line with you. All of you know how to read. Okay, I'm just going to highlight some key points here from the information that we have in front of us. Okay, I am going to put students into groups. I will provide you with the group distribution. Okay, so you don't get to choose. I choose who you work with. Okay, now if a student does not communicate with you, you cannot be waiting around all day. Okay, there's deadlines that need to be met. Okay, so my recommendation as a group is that you establish deadlines. If we don't hear from X student by this date, then they will be dropped from the group. Okay, and they can be dropped because the group project needs to be completed, and you can't show up the last day of the assignment and say, well, here I am, what do I do now? That is not fair for the rest of the group members. Okay, so all of us are adults. All of us need to be responsible to communicate with your group members immediately. Once I release the group distribution, who's going to be in what group, your job is to reach out to your group members. You can reach out to them through Blackboard messages or through Pronto. Okay, and then as a group, you decide what works best. A lot of my students create WhatsApp groups. They email each other. I have no preference. It is your decision as to how you communicate. Okay, just keep those communications in case something were to happen, because I have had situations in the past where a student is removed from the group, and then they come back and they say that they were not provided with an opportunity to participate. Okay, and then the backup and the support of the other students to show that, we tried reaching out to them X number of times and they never responded is critical for me to be able to make a decision. Okay, so please respond promptly to your group members so you can ensure that you collaborate with each other, distribute the work, and help each other out. Okay, this is a group project. Working alone is not an option. When you go out there to the workforce, you are going to have to work in groups many of the times. And I get you. I myself am not a fan of working in groups because sometimes you've got good groups, sometimes you've got bad groups, okay? But regardless, we have to learn how to overcome this obstacle, okay? We need to learn how to become leaders. We need to be able to learn how to communicate and collaborate with others, because sometimes you get fabulous groups. You learn so much from other individuals. It's just a fabulous experience, okay? So working alone is not an option unless you have some form of written accommodation that prohibits you from working in groups. Okay, if that is the case, then you need to communicate with me. But if you have no such accommodation, then everybody is required to work in the group project. Okay, and I understand that most of us work, that it is difficult to establish a meeting time, but with all of the technology available, it should not be very difficult to set timelines. We're going to meet as a group for 30 minutes on this day, distribute the work. We're going to meet for another 30 minutes on this day, review what we've done so far, who's going to do what, kind of a thing. It is very easy with technology, the technology that we currently have, to be able to get this done. Okay, so please make sure that you carefully read through all of this information. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. Please be courteous to one another. No bullying, okay? No being rude. We are adults. If someone doesn't understand how to do a certain thing, please help them out, okay? This is a learning experience for a lot of students. So be courteous, be kind, have empathy for others, okay? Help each other out, okay? Now, what are we going to be doing in this group project? Okay, so the group project aims to research and identify conceptual differences between international financial reporting standards and U.S. generally accepted accounting principles. Okay, and we're going to develop a PowerPoint presentation to expose the information to individuals that are not familiar with the topic. So when you prepare this presentation, you must assume that the person, in this case me, has no knowledge about IFRS or GAAP, so you are going to be teaching me about it. Okay, so make sure that you provide me with detailed information. I don't know anything about this, so you have to teach me about the concept of IFRS and GAAP. Okay, the PowerPoint presentation needs to be between 10 to 13 slides of content. This does not include the cover page or the reference page. Those are not included. 10 to 13 slides of actual information where you are explaining the different requirements of the assignment. Okay, now for every slide, you have to have notes. Okay, in the actual slide itself, you're going to highlight or you're going to include key phrases, points, information. I don't want you overloading your slide with information. That is not professional. Okay, so you're going to highlight in the actual slide just key points and phrases, and then on the actual notes, you are going to actually supplement that information with the research. Okay, now each slide needs to have between 150 to 250 words of research. Okay, now this is a major component of the requirement. You have to elaborate, explain the information on the slide with the notes section. Okay, so here it says the slide's content should consist of key phrases, points, or information, and your notes section should supplement the information that needs to be explained within each slide. Do not overload your slide with information and then simply cut and paste the information on the notes. Okay, I've had situations in the past where students just whatever they put on the slide, they copy it to the notes. That is not acceptable. The information on the slide should be different than the information on the notes. Okay, key points on the slide, detailed information on the notes section. Okay, so it's very important that you do not overload your slide with information and that you include the necessary notes to elaborate or supplement the information you are presenting within the actual slide. Please make sure to cite all of your sources within the notes section or the slides to ensure that you are not plagiarizing. Okay? Remember, the citation should be included after every sentence where a source was used. If you obtain that information from a source, a citation needs to be included right after that sentence. Okay? All group members must actively participate in the research, preparing, and delivering the presentation. Please make sure that everybody participates. There are some students with some special accommodations. Sometimes, we have students that cannot speak. If that is the case, I am aware of that, and I would really like it if you would pick up the slack for those students that are unable to complete that portion of the assignment. They can do the research, but if they have some kind of disability, please make sure that you complete that requirement for them so all of the slides can have audio, if that were the case in any of your situations in any of your classes. But if an accommodation is needed, I will more than likely email that specific group with that student. That way you all can assist that student in the areas where they are lacking or are unable to participate. Okay. For my face-to-face classes, the students must be present the day the presentation is conducted. Okay. That is for my face-to-face classes. If you're in an online class, you're going to be recording audio for the slides. Okay, I will not accept presentations that are missing audio. So if you worked on researching slides 2 and 3, okay, then you need to verbally explain slides 2 and 3 using the audio. Okay, so every student should be able to explain the section that they worked on. Okay. When presenting your section, please state your name. Remember, we're going to be jumping from one student to the next. That way we know who is speaking. Also, on the notes section of each slide, please include your name. Okay, so if you're working on slide number 2, Mickey Mouse did it, please put slide 2, Mickey Mouse. Slide 3, Donald Duck. Slide 4, Popeye. Okay, whatever the case might be. I need the name of the students that worked on each slide. Okay, that way I know who completed that section. In case I have any questions or concerns, that way I can trace it back. So make sure that every slide, the first thing that you should have on that slide is the name of the student that worked on that slide. Okay. A title slide needs to be included with the group members' names that participated only. Okay, so if you have, let's say, for example, one group member that did not help, they never reached out, they didn't do anything, then you do not include that person's name on the presentation. Only include the name of the students that actually completed the presentation or participated. Okay. For my face-to-face classes, one designated group member will be responsible for stating the title of the presentation, acknowledging the group members, and providing a short overview of what is going to be covered in the presentation. For my online classes, a designated group member will be responsible basically for the same thing. Okay, so you all select who is going to present the title slide. Okay, you need to be able to say, this is group number 2, comprised of so and so. and we are going to be presenting our presentation dealing with this and then provide a short overview of what you're going to be presenting. Okay, but the title slide does need to have audio. You all decide who records the audio in your group. Okay, a reference page needs to be included. The sources need to be organized alphabetically. Intake citations within the slides and notes sections of the PowerPoint must be included. For any information obtained from any source, please paraphrase the information. Do not just copy and paste it from the source. You need to put it into your own words and still cite the sources. Okay? Plagiarism will not be tolerated. I do run your reports through a system, and it does show me if information was obtained from a source and how much of it was copied and pasted. Okay, so make sure that if you are getting information from a source, you paraphrase it. Okay, please cite all of your sources accordingly. A citation should be included after each sentence where a source was used. Do not simply list your references at the end of the title slide. That happens all the time. No. Okay, if you need assistance with the citation component, the CLE lab, the tutoring lab has assistance with writing. You may seek assistance there. Okay, I've included some links there that will help you with citing your sources for reference. This is not an English class. I'm not going to be teaching you how to write a paper. You should have already taken an English class either in high school or here at college. So you should be familiar with citing your sources. Okay, we are going to be using the APA format, so make sure that you do follow that. Students are encouraged to use visuals, examples, statistics, graphs, charts, anything that is going to make your presentation dynamic and is going to assist in better understanding what you are presenting. Okay? Aim for a professional and engaging presentation. Use clear and concise language. Now, the use of artificial intelligence is not allowed, okay? You can use artificial intelligence to brainstorm ideas, but not to conduct the actual research. The actual research needs to be conducted by you, okay? If I identify students using AI to create the actual presentation, the entire group is going to get a 0, okay? So please make sure that you actually go out there and you actually do the research. You actually include the citations. Like I said, AI is simply a tool for maybe gathering ideas or, brainstorming, stuff like that, but not for you to complete the actual assignment using the AI technology. Okay. Now, what are we going to be researching about? Okay, so we have 5 requirements. Okay, you as a group decide how you're going to split this up amongst yourselves. Okay, so letter A, you're going to provide a history background of why and how international financial reporting standards and U.S. generally accepted accounting principles were developed. In this section, a timeline will really be beneficial to employ from when both IFRS and GAAP were developed to currently. Okay, highlight key dates, key accomplishments, key policies that were undertaken, whatever the case might be, any information that you find. Okay, why was IFRS and GAAP developed? What caused it? What triggered the need for IFRS and GAAP? So please conduct the research and respond to that inquiry. Letter B, provide a detailed overview explaining IFRS and GAAP. Now this is very different. The first one is asking you about the history. How and why was it developed? This one is, what is IFRS and GAAP? This can include, but is not limited to, its purpose, its mission, its users, its structure. How does it run? Okay, who makes the decisions, kind of a thing. Okay, any information that you find that you think is important, include it in the B section. Okay. Now, letter C is the most important part of the presentation. You are going to identify and explain. You see how I underlined it? Explain 3 significant differences between IFRS and GAAP. Now, these differences should explain how IFRS and GAAP accounting practices or principles differ. Please include a side-by-side comparison of the differences and provide an example of each. Okay? Do not include as a difference that one is rules-based and the other is principles-based, Or then one is employed in the USA and the other is international. Those things I don't want to see. I want to know specific accounting practices or principles that are different. For example, how do we account for inventory using GAAP and IFRS? How do we account for leases? IFRS and GAAP. Okay, explain things. Okay, how is the income statement prepared in IFRS versus in GAAP? Are there any differences in the preparation of the financial statements? Anything that you find, and then explain it in detail. Remember, I don't know anything about this. You have to teach me. So therefore, you have to be detailed. You have to provide an example. Okay, this is an example of an income statement, an IFRS. This is an example of an income statement in GAAP. And as you can see, these are the differences between the two. Okay, and then you highlight the differences. Okay, be detailed. This is the core of the project. Okay. After you're done with C, we're going to do D, which is provide 3 reasons why IFRS has not been implemented in the United States. Please be detailed and include facts and statistics. Okay. Let's say one of the reasons why it has not been implemented, it's because it is going to be very costly. Well, how costly is it going to be? Quantify the number. There's a lot of research that has been done about estimates of how much it would cost us to implement IFRS in the United States. Okay, so make sure that you include information from sources. This is not your opinion. This is why, legitimate reasons why it has not been implemented. This is something political. Why have we not run with it? If the rest of the world is doing it, why is the USA not doing it? Okay, so conduct research and answer that requirement. Now, letter E, that is your opinion. That is the only item that is your opinion. Does your group believe that IFRS will be implemented in the United States soon? Why or why not? And then you're going to support your reasoning with published data. Okay. So letter E is your opinion as a group based on all of the research that you have conducted. Yes, you believe we will transition, or no, we will not. Okay. Now the group project is worth 100 points. Please make sure this is a letter grade, guys. This is an easy A if you put your heart into it. Okay. It is very easy. You have more than enough time. You have 2 weeks to complete it. Okay. Remember, only group members that participate in the group assignment will earn the points. I don't want to hear it where, Miss, I was very busy last week, so I didn't respond to my group members. I'm just responding to them the Friday before the assignment is due. I am sorry, you are getting a 0. Okay? Your group member decided to kick you out of the group because they needed to move on. They tried communicating with you. You didn't respond. You're out. And you are getting a 0, and there will be no makeup assignments for this. Okay? So please be responsible. When you hit that week number 14, where you have to begin working on your research, make sure that you monitor your emails, your Blackboard messages daily to ensure that if any communication is sent out, you respond promptly. Okay? Now, I need 1 submission of the group project per group. So as a group, you designate a group leader that is going to be responsible to upload the final project to me. 1 submission per group. Okay. Now, in addition, students need to complete a self and peer evaluation. That self and peer evaluation has 0 points attached to it. It's not for a grade, but I do need it to be able to see your feedback on how your group did or how you did in comparison to your group members. Okay. If you do not turn in the self and peer evaluation, you will get a 0 for the assignment. I need a self and peer evaluation for every student. Okay. And failure to complete it will result in a 0 for the assignment. So it is very critical that you complete the self and peer evaluation. Please be truthful in your responses. If, let's say, for example, Maria Hernandez did not participate, and you felt that she didn't do a good work, notate it there. I will read it, and if the rest of your group members coincide with the same feedback, I will go ahead and contact or communicate with that person and figure out what we can do, because it is not fair that a student does not participate and earns an A or a B depending on what your grade was issued. Okay. If a group member is in your group, they need to work. They need to put in the effort. Okay. So every student will complete the self and peer evaluation. Your group leader will submit one group project per group. Okay, no late assignments will be accepted. Please make sure that you adhere to all of the deadlines. Okay, so this is provided to you. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to exit it out. Okay, you are also provided with the grading rubric. Okay, okay. So let me go ahead and download it so we can see it a little bit better. Okay. Okay, so the grading rubric shows you how am I going to grade you. Okay, so we've got the requirements. For the first requirement, it's worth 10 points. The second requirement, 10 points. The third requirement, 18 points. Okay, so on and so forth. You all can read this. Okay, the notes section, I do count the number of words. Make sure that you do complete it or count your words as well as you are doing your notes section. That is worth 15 points. My recommendation is once set deadlines for your group. Okay, by such a date we have to each submit our sections. Who is going to put the presentation together? I know a lot of you use Google Slides, which is awesome. Just make sure that all of the information is provided. When you download your Google Slides, make sure that they are in PowerPoint mode and that the audio is within each of these slides. I have had situations where students send me a whole bunch of audio files separately and I have no idea where they go. Okay, you need to record the audio within the slide. Okay, each slide I just press a button and I will listen to the audio for that slide. I don't want separate audio files. Okay, I need the audio embedded within each of the slides. Okay, now going back to my train of thought here is, as a group, set deadlines. Okay, by this date all of us have to submit our work. We're going to put it together and we are going to do a review of each other's work. We need to make sure that everybody has between 150 to 250 words of content. We need to make sure that whoever completed the specific requirement is meeting all of the requirements. So you are going to be reviewing and grading your own work. This is constructive feedback. Okay, and then based on the feedback from your peers, you are going to make the needed changes to improve the presentation. This is a great opportunity for you all to help each other supplement information that might be missing, better organizing the information. So please schedule time as a group to do a review of your presentation before you submit it. Okay, you are accountable for the actual project. Now, let's assume slides 1 through 5 are amazing, high A, amazing. Okay, and then slides 6 through 13 are terrible. Okay, that is going to really affect the outcome of the grade. Okay, now I've had students say, Miss, well, my slides were perfect. Great, your slides were perfect, but the rest of the presentation was not. Okay, I don't grade per slide. I grade in total. I am grading the entire presentation as a whole. So we need to make sure that the entire presentation as a whole is excellent. Okay, it doesn't matter if your slide is good. You need to make sure that your peer slides is at the same level as yours. Okay, so conduct a peer review to make sure that all of the requirements are satisfied. Okay, so this is the grading rubric. This is how the 100 points will be distributed. So you all can read this information on your own time. Okay, so this is where you will be submitting on the group research project. That is where you will be submitting your group project, one submission per group. And then down here, make sure that when you do upload the group project, it needs to be uploaded in PowerPoint format. I don't want PDF, I want PowerPoint format. Make sure that you do that, okay? For the group project self and peer evaluation, this is where you're going to evaluate your peers. I've got the document there. Okay, we're going to download the document. Okay, let me open it up. Okay, so it is a Word document. At the top, it says student's name. Okay, this is your name. Okay, I am doing this self and peer evaluation. Okay, now the name of the student. Name of student 1, Maria Hernandez. Okay, name of student 2, Pedro Ramirez. Okay, this is where you're going to put your classmate's name. Okay, Okay. You're going to go ahead and complete all of the section. Fill in all of the names of all of your peers. Okay. Whatever they are. Only those that participated. Okay. That you actually put on the presentation. Okay. So after you put in the name of your peers, you are Hernandez. I misspelled Hernandez. There we go. Okay, we're gonna rate. Okay, so Maria Hernandez participated in discussion. These are your options: 0, 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna do Maria as an example. Participated in the discussion? Rarely. Maintained a positive attitude? Never. She was always upset. Contributed to work? Sometimes. Responded to emails or calls? Rarely. Okay. Met established group deadlines? All the time. Okay. So the total points: 1 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1 plus 3. So that's 1, 3, 4, 7. So she gets 7 points. Okay. This is how you are going to tally it up. So you're going to add all of the points. The 1 plus the 2 plus the 1 plus the 3 gives me 7. Okay. Now we're going to do Pedro. Okay. Pedro participated in the discussions all the time. Maintained a positive attitude. Yes, Pedro was amazing. Contributed to work. Yes. Responded to emails all the time. Met the deadlines always. Okay. So Pedro gets 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 points. You see? So Maria gets 7. Pedro gets 15. Okay. Okay. And here I'm going to put myself. So I should be the last person that I evaluate. Okay. So you should also evaluate yourself. How do you think you did as a group member? Okay. How do you think you did as a group member? Well, I always participated in the discussions. I tried to maintain a positive attitude. I always helped my group members. I contributed to work. Yes, all the time. Now, I was not very good at responding to emails or calls. So here I'm going to give myself a 2. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. Okay. I had some difficulties meeting the group deadlines in some occasions, so I'm going to do a 2 for that, and then I'm going to grade myself. So it's 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points. So I give myself 13 points, okay? So you're going to do the same thing for all of your group members, okay? Going to complete it, okay? Now, if there are any additional comments that you want to do here, you can say Maria was Maria was not helpful. She did not respond to inquiries, or whatever the case, did not respond to inquiries, or whatever you want to put. Okay, so if you want to complain about Maria, this is your chance. Okay, you know, I tried communicating with her, and she would ignore our calls. You know, we had difficulty with her responding to any of our correspondence. You know, her work was not very high quality, and she got upset because we told her to revise it, or whatever the case might be. This is where you're going to put your comments on the student comment section, okay? You're going to save it, and you're going to send it to me, okay, with all of the notes, okay? So this is what you need to do. This is not for a grade. This is for me to see how all of you participated in the project. If I see everybody did great, everybody in your group rated each other very similarly, then that means, you know what, they are in alignment. Okay. If everybody coincides that Maria did not participate or did not do, you know, did very well in the assignment, you know, you all struggled with her, then if all of you coincide with that same, then I will have a talk with Maria. Okay. So please make sure that you do give me your feedback. I look at this very carefully when grading. Okay. So make sure that you are truthful in your responses. Okay. So this is what you're going to complete. Every student needs to complete this one. You're going to put your name on top, and then you're going to also rate yourself over here. Okay. So let me close this out. So you're going to upload it into here. The completed one, you're going to download the file, save it, and then re-upload it for grading. Okay. So I can review it. So those are the 2 things that you're going to complete: the group project and the self and peer evaluation. All of the resources are provided. I do have some, let me see, if you look at the overview, I do have some videos. Let me see if they wait until they load. Okay, but I do have some videos down here that teach you how to add audio to a PowerPoint. Okay, let me see, my computer is a little bit slow. Okay, but if you scroll down, once my computer comes back to life, you see you have videos on PowerPoint tutorial for APA format, how to add speaker notes. Okay, there's a lot of information online on the website. If you are having issues with a specific area, just Google it and I'm sure that you'll find out how to do it. But these are the areas that I found that students struggle the most. Is like, where do I include the speaker notes? That's here. The APA formatting for PowerPoints, that is included, and how to add audio to your slides. Okay, make sure that you watch those videos. Okay. So that is basically all of the resources. If as you are doing your research you have any questions, please make sure to reach out to me. I am available either during my office hours. Send me a Blackboard message, a Pronto message, or an email, and I will try to respond as soon as possible. Okay, so your group project is due, let me close this out, on May the 4th, 2025. That is when the group project is due. That is Sunday. So you will have 2 entire weeks to work on the project. Okay. So please make sure that you work on the project. Remember, you have weeks 14 and 15. The project is due May the 4th, 2025. That is a Sunday. Try to get it as soon as possible. No late assignments will be accepted, so please make sure that you do submit by the established deadline. Once again, any questions or concerns, do not hesitate to reach out to me. I hope you enjoy this project, working with your peers, collaborating with them, and developing a presentation that is going to teach us a little bit more about international financial reporting and US GAAP. Okay, so until next time, have a wonderful research assignment. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.